Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the Solar Consulting YouTube channel. I'm glad to have you here, and this is the first video I want to make to explain why am I trying to help you install solar systems, photovoltaic systems on your roof or besides your building, and what is my motivation behind why do I think I can be helpful to you. And it all started at ETH Zurich, where I made my studies as a mechanical engineer with a focus on renewable energies and sustainability. And during this time, photovoltaics, of course, was already there. Photovoltaics is a quite old technology, but back in the time it was not sustainable yet, because sustainability is defined as a triangle of ecology, economy and social aspects. And only if you have all three working, it is something really sustainable. It is something that will last for the future. And so back in the time, photovoltaic was too expensive, but still I studied it in detail. I analyzed how it works and what are the aspects we have to keep. And after that I worked as an energy consultant for an engineering bureau, and I did a lot of energy analysis of all kinds of businesses, from pure office buildings to producing factories, making heat treatments on metal or cutting parts, or all kinds of businesses. And through that I learned a lot about the different profiles of energy usage, where is energy going into a building, and I realized that in most cases you don't want to touch the production process. The production process is what brings you the money, so you don't want to mess around with it. So I have concluded that it's better to get green energy to feed that process than to try to optimize that process to maybe gain a few % more efficiency. Over the years it has been shown, and I really firmly believe it, that photovoltaics is a technology that makes sense. We have in Switzerland a test power plant using photovoltaics, which is now working for over 25 years. We have solar panels there that were in wind, hail, storm, and have proven that the way that is used to protect these solar cells between two sheets of glass, this works. And of course you always have a few parts that may fail over the years, but this percentage is very low. And remember, this is 25-year-old technology. During these 25 years they have constantly improved their technology. And even if I'm a mechanical engineer and I love gears and levers and stuff that moves, I know that the less parts are moving, the less trouble you get. And the only moving part in a fixed installed solar system is probably the fan of the inverter. Except that everything else is not moving, is completely fixed, and so it will not cause any problem. And that's why I believe that from a technology standpoint it definitely makes sense. From an ecology standpoint, I think it's one of the technologies to produce power that has the lowest impact on the environment. Because I mean, every technology has an impact. Even wood firing will make you microparticles, will make you carbon monoxide and other nasty stuff, even if you just burn biomass. If you make a dam to make hydroelectricity, you also highly disturb the ecosystem. So I think it's acceptable that in production of solar cells we use strong acids and we have a little bit of heavy metals involved, because I believe that the manufacturers have a really careful handling of these hazardous materials and will try to recycle them as much as possible and not just let them out into the environment. And I mean, there's no question that coal, gas and oil are definitely bad options to produce electricity. And so I won't even go further into detail about these. And of course, solar cells have some gray energy involved. You need electricity, you need energy to produce them. But after 2 to 3 years, this is you gain this back, and after that you have a net profit in energy. So I think that's totally reasonable. From an ecological standpoint, we have reached the point where we have grid parity. We are at the same price for electricity out of a solar cell than we are if we take the electricity out of the grid. We probably are even cheaper because the prices of the grid have a tendency to rise. I believe they will rise even more in the next years. And so if we install a solar system now, we are very sure that the price of the electricity will remain constant over the whole lifetime of that system. And so we can save money. If you can save money and in the meantime make a better world for your children, one of the reasons I make this video, one of the reasons I want to help you make a solar system is also because of my daughter. I want to leave her a somehow comfortable planet to live. I know we have some heritage from our ancestors who have done lots of bad things to this planet. So this is definitely the time to change and at least to try to keep our CO2 emissions constant and stop that constant rise, which is the current state. And after that, with even more photovoltaics, reduce the carbon emissions to a point where our climate becomes stable again. So that's why I believe in photovoltaics, and I really want to help you with consulting. I want to analyze your personal situation, if it makes sense to install solar panels on or around your building and to use the electricity. I do that with the pride of an engineer. I want to make meaningful numbers, and I'm really willing to completely show you my calculations and to accept every challenge on these numbers, because my first goal is to calculate properly. It's not just to sell something. I do these calculations completely for free. One side is out of personal interest, and second is that if you take a solar system, I will take a little share of it for my efforts. And of course, this effort will be into the numbers I will present to you, so you get numbers that you can trust on, and you know, okay, you can save money, or it makes no sense. I mean, if it makes no sense, I will tell you it makes no sense. Sorry for disturbing you, and you will have the certainty that you're one of the few unlucky persons having a building or a business that is not compatible with photovoltaics. There are a few of them, especially if you have historical buildings, or if you just have a huge roof and no own consumption. It can make sense to have either a very small system or no system at all. So I'm looking forward to consult you, to help you. In the link below you have my website where you can contact me, where you get more info. Of course, I will continue making videos about photovoltaics. What are the advantages, what are the pitfalls, what are the different technologies. This is the start of that channel. Welcome, subscribe, and see you later.